Die Zukunft der Arbeit ist vernetzt und wir befinden uns auf der Überholspur. Wachstum, Innovation und Digitalisierung geben das Tempo vor. Doch wie halten wir Schritt? Und was ist mit den Menschen, die all das ermöglichen? Der Fachkräftebedarf betrifft uns alle. Dabei sind wir umgeben von Talenten, die entdeckt werden wollen. Müssen. Sei Teil dieses Wandels. Wie können wir die Lücken auf dem Arbeitsmarkt schließen? Wie schaffen wir Anreize für internationale Fachkräfte und nutzen Potenziale im Inland? Wie schöpfen wir Mut und Inspiration für die Arbeitswelt von morgen? Eine bessere Welt für uns alle. Filling the Gap. Willkommen zum zweiten People and Culture Festival.
Unser nächster Sprecher und Redner ist Gründer der E-Learning-Plattform sofatutor. Er ist aus dem Bildungswesen auch deswegen nicht mehr wegzudenken, weil er auch ein Vorkämpfer ist an der Digitalisierung von Schulen. Und das Ganze wird jetzt in Englisch stattfinden, von daher kurzer Sprachenswitch. Da bist du schon. How to break into the tech ecosystem. Mit uns ist Stephan Bayer.
Hallo. Ja.
Hi.
Könnt ihr mich hören? Bin ich auf Mikro?
Du bist auf Mikro, wir hören dich. Nice
I thought I'd do it in English, but we can also do it in German.
As you like.
Who's English? Okay,
well, then
let's do it in English. Yeah.
All right. Have fun. Stage is all yours.
Thank you. Do you have something to change the slides? Like
clicker?
The clicker, yeah?
It's come.
Thank you so much. Dankeschön. Wow, that's a nice clicker. Leaves no questions open. Okay. Hi. Yes, I thought I'll do a speech about how not to break out of prison, but to break into something, into the tech ecosystem. Yeah, because it's this, sociologists would say it's this thing that people have a different language, and maybe they are weird in some way or another, and it's kind of hard to decode all those codes. But it's paradise, I can tell you. It's a great place to work, it's a great place to make a career, and since this is the day where we all think about careers and where we want to head next, I want to make this big commercial about come and work in the tech ecosystem, work for a tech company somewhere in the world, and how to break in there. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk a lot about the different jobs that are in the tech ecosystem, and we'll tell you a little bit about how to score one job. I'm Stephan, I'm 40 years old. I started 16 years ago, I started a company called sofatutor. We are the largest provider of school education in a digital format for kids in Germany, in Austria and Switzerland. So you can imagine there is a 3-year pandemic behind us. We were the backbone of the German homeschooling, and there's still a lot to do looking forward. So we are pretty busy. We are 250 people, fully employed. We used to be super Berlin-based with a headquarter in Friedrichshain, but now we are completely remote. So we still have that headquarter, but no one's there. We work from everywhere. We've got people from Macedonia, from Canada, from the UK, from the US, and so on. We've got a product out. I'm going to talk about the product later. I'm doing a lot of other stuff because I always need a little bit of, something new and exciting in my life, and doing something for 16 years and all that continuity and consistency also means I need to break out in my free time. So I initiated one thing that's called Tech in the City, and it's an NGO that is responsible, that feels responsible to bring more talent into the tech ecosystem. So part of my mission today, I want to talk you into go into the tech ecosystem. The Tech in the City NGO does that. Then this whole People and Culture Festival is organized by Medianet, and I'm a board member of Medianet. This is like the largest media association in Berlin. So no matter if you do film, games, music, tech stuff, you should be part of Medianet. Yeah, without Medianet, Berlin wouldn't be what it is today. Then I initiated a coding school, an academy for adults to learn tech skills. We called it Defugees in the beginning in 2015. Defugees was because we wanted to turn refugees into web developers and refugees, yeah, kind of a cheesy name. And then we called it Digital Career Institute. And you will hear that name a few more times in my presentation because that's where I draw all my experience from when it's about training, when it's about how to train someone to get their foot into the door of a digital company. I do another few board seats in stuff I don't need to tell you now. There's entrepreneurial stuff and more IT association stuff. I also created a school for art collectors. I do a podcast. The podcast is called School Must Go On. And yeah, even sometimes the political parties of Germany, they ask me how they should structure some parts of the education system. And yeah, my personal passion and something that's why I'm here today as a speaker is I think the whole digital workforce in these digital companies, it needs more equality and it needs more equity. So I'm a sociologist by training. I grew up in a tiny little village in East Germany. I never knew that I would end up in this position that I am today. And it's probably also because some things happened to me. Some people saw my potential, some people nurtured my potential. And this is what equity is eventually all about. Yeah? Equality means everyone should have their piece of the cake. Equity means that maybe different people need different things to succeed in life. And maybe we should give these different people different things. You know, if you look at Bill Gates, you think, wow, man, he's like one of the richest guys in the world, very successful entrepreneur. He's done a great job building Microsoft. But if you look at his childhood, he grew up in one of the most acknowledged, well-known families in Seattle. Because he had a computer, being a child, he taught himself how to code. That was when no one had computers. Like it's today, like he had access to a spaceship or something, you know. So yeah, maybe Bill Gates had that, and other people need something else to learn how to code. Yeah, at this coding school that I just mentioned, there's people who are 40 years old like me, and all they've ever done is use their smartphone. Yeah, they need something different to learn how to code than the young Bill Gates at age 10 needed. Yeah. And so, like, if you really want to move into like the whole equality discussion, you should really think of equity and think of what different people need in order to succeed. That's why I'm here. And it's also good to think of yourself. You know, where are you in life? What do you need? What makes your needs special to someone else? Just to give you a quick idea of what sofatutor is doing. So sofatutor is my daily bread and butter job. It's a medium-sized company. Not a startup anymore, it's a grown-up company, and we practically supply teaching materials, educational materials to kids and to teachers and to parents. So there's videos and games and practice problems and printables and a chat, and there's quite a lot of students using it. There's 1.5 million students every month now using it every month. So that's what I do. And having started this 16 years ago and having done it for all these last 16 years, it made me a digital employer. Yeah? So today, I wear the hat of someone who employs other people. And that's, I think, the perspective I'm giving you today. My experience as someone who's hiring people. And if you look at our team, it's quite interesting. There is, it's this team, 250 people, and a lot of them are what I would call career changers. So what they do is they work in a job that they did not study for. That's most of the people. Yeah, you've got this circle here, and you've got the gray part. That's people in our team who studied stuff, and they also do it today. So there's still someone doing accounting. This person went to accounting school. They're still working accounting today. There's also people who do media production, like editing educational videos. They learned that in video editing school, and they do it today. So there's this part, but the much larger part is people who do jobs that did not even exist 15 years ago. And that's really, really cool. That's a really cool place to be for everyone who thinks of what should I do next, aim for the red part, because that's where all the exciting stuff happens. And you don't need to go get a PhD and study some rocket science, but still you can feel like a rocket scientist every day when you work. And now I have a few people from my team that I'm going to present, a few persona. You can just think of these people as blueprints, find yourself in them, and you will learn about people and their psychological and biographical background. And you will also learn what kind of jobs exist in these digital companies, in the tech ecosystem. So there's Philip. And Philip went to video editing school. He became a Mediengestalter Bild-Ton. So he did this apprenticeship and he learned basic design and video editing stuff at his former job or employer, where he also learned, where he did the apprenticeship. Then he came to us and he did basic graphic design. But soon his ambitions were stronger and he said, I don't want to be the guy just, doing these posters as I was told to. I would like to do the conceptual work. I would like to be the guy who's telling someone else how to do the website. So he became a product manager, step by step, trained on the job. He's now the guy who thinks of, maybe we should start a vocabulary trainer. Maybe we should start a new feature and it's a ChatGPT AI dialogue or something. So he really creates these new ideas. And that's quite a career shift, actually. Yeah? And I'm pretty proud of this career and how it went. But when he first came, he had something that was viable to us, something necessary. He could do the design. Yeah? Also something interesting to keep in mind. Yeah? There's something you need to be working in the beginning that the company needs. You cannot just say, I know nothing, train me now. Then there's Manuela. Manuela works in online marketing. She, just like me, I studied sociology, she studied humanities, she studied culture studies, but she always worked during her studies at university. She always worked in sales positions mostly, in small boutiques and shops and sometimes on the phone selling stuff. So she's excellent in communication. Today she works in online marketing. So today she's responsible for our ads on Instagram and Facebook, where we spend millions of euros every year to reach out to students, parents, and teachers and sell sofatutor. So that's also quite a transition coming from, something that I also studied, a university degree that practically doesn't teach you anything for the job world, no pragmatic competency, but you have that other parallel career as a salesperson that is really strong. And that is what she actually utilizes today. Yeah? Of course, she learned how to think, how to speak more sophisticated, and many, many other things. But the real benefit is like this empathy today to get in touch with target groups, with people, with customers, and create great ads. So that's online marketing. Online marketing, if you work in online marketing, I think you should have these two components figured out for yourself. You're either the super creative and communicative person, or you're super data-driven. You love numbers. There's jobs for both kinds of people in online marketing. Choose either or maybe you are the unicorn that can do both. Then there's Anne. Anne is a data scientist. And Anne did an apprenticeship in, the English term is commercial clerk, Kauffrau, Kaufmann. Yeah, so a simple commercial apprenticeship that gives you the basic skills on how to work with numbers. And most of the times there's a euro sign behind the number. And so she used to do a lot of Microsoft Excel work. She used to do a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of databases. She's not scared of numbers. That's important for being a data scientist. Because what does a data scientist do? A data scientist creates meaning out of all the data that we as an internet company collect. Yeah, so the evil narrative is always, oh yeah, all these internet companies, Facebook, Google, and so on, they all collect all this data and they know everything about us. Yeah, maybe. But there still needs to be a data scientist who understands the data and creates some sort of sense out of that. So yeah, she will find out that maybe since we launched the new grammar trainer for sofatutor, we have much more fourth graders, yeah? Because grammar is a very important thing to study in fourth grade. She digged into the numbers, she found out that. Wow, super good to know. So now we can play that back to marketing, and marketing put that into the ads and try to find more parents of fourth graders, because we see that they really love the grammar trainer. Maybe we should advertise that more than we used to. Yeah. So she's constantly looking for these little kind of like pieces of truth in the data, and yeah, that's this role. Hope that's inspiring. And then there's one other amazing, inspiring story of a Syrian refugee, Ahmed, who came to Germany at the age of 21, I think, and he did some studies in Syria, nothing tech-related, nothing computer-related. I think he studied some English, and then he said, okay, I'm going to sign up for this course at Digital Career Institute, and within 1 year, I go from knowing nothing about computer programming to being a pretty decent programmer, because this course goes for 1 year. And then he did an internship at sofatutor. We said, hey, come in, do an internship, we see what you can do. And within 1 year, he was leading our mobile app development team. That's quite exciting, yeah? So everything that happens on your iPhone or your Android device, your Google powered phone, is part of this team, and so they create these apps, which is an important revenue stream. And so thinking of, you know, where Ahmed came from like knowing nothing to learning something in 1 year and then making it all the way to leading this team, that's a crazy career. That's what your dad needed 40 years to do that, yeah, and you can do it in 2 years, and if you want to do it, yeah. Yeah, that's I think something you can really learn, and it's also a story about how someone came to Germany. He was a newcomer to Germany. He was a newcomer in Berlin. He was a newcomer in the tech world, and he made it a really good life out of that. Yeah. So today I see him racing around with this red racing bike. He's not working for us anymore. He even did a step up. He's working for another company now, doing a great job there. And so that's one really exciting story. Yeah, and also a story where you see that you don't need to speak German to make it in these jobs in Germany. I'm speaking English now because that's the work language we use at sofatutor. We think it was 2015 years ago, if you think about it now. We sat down as the leadership team and said, hey, we do not find enough good people to hire if we just stick to German as a language. So we're going to go full in. We're going to be an English-speaking company from now. And from one day to another, we said, now every talk we do, every email we write, every event we do, it's going to be in English. It's still a German product. sofatutor is a product for German parents and German kids. But we speak English. Yeah? And so that's, I think, also one of the very many nice things about the tech ecosystem. And then for me as an employer, you know, there's a lot of other people who I really like to hire, who are, you know, kind of like these broken biographies, where in the first place you think, oh man, who would ever hire me? But then if you really think about it, it's great. We love computer science dropouts, because that's people who already like to do computers, who work with computers, but they realize that at university, you get taught a lot of heavy stuff to, you know, yeah, like it's real rocket science. It's really about how to program the next operating system for this kind of thing, which is, you don't need that if you work on a website, yeah. Then, philosophy. Philosophy students, long-term enrolled students, they can be great people because they've been in this machine called university for very long. They don't see an end to it. They don't see them ever making some money, and suddenly a new door opens, and they can create this new great career. But there's also people who used to work entrepreneurial before, like people who were selling stuff on eBay, the digital flea market. Flight attendants are great. People from the hotel industry, everything hospitality industry is amazing. People know how to work hard. They're super friendly. Restaurants as well. Failed entrepreneurs, bankers. Bankers love numbers. But who goes into a bank today and is, to get some money or does a transaction? Every bank needs to get rid of 4,000 bankers in Germany at this point of time. Yeah? So good idea to switch from banking into tech. Summing up, you can have a great life. I never expected to end up there. To me, it was a lot of coincidences that happened that led me into a digital company. It's super open and tolerant. You're still in high demand. It's still that your employer goes on your knees and says, please work for me. Yeah? The salaries are high. I talked about career opportunities. And it's quick to learn. In Germany, we say, wir kochen alle nur mit Wasser. We all just cook with water. There's no magic ingredient. It's quick. It's quick to learn. And one way to get into it is, I'm going to tell you here because that's what people always ask after this talk. So I created a slide for that. If you want to break into the tech ecosystem, what's your next step? The big question first is, are you under 25 or are you over 25? I'm making it super simple here. If you're under 25, you can just go do a duale Ausbildung, apprenticeship, go study somewhere, do something that prepares you for the job. If you're over 25, you might not want to lose another 3 years to get some sort of degree. And then there's faster ways. One way is to join some kind of boot camp, Weiterbildung, academy, some kind of training course where people from the industry constantly talk to this school and tell them what exactly they need in these applicants. Yeah? Like in web development, the languages, the programming languages, they change every now and then. So it's important to understand what do I have to learn today to make a job, to get a job tomorrow. Yeah? And these boot camps like Digital Career Institute, where I draw all my experience from, they do that. They put people in an orientation course for 4 weeks, so you understand all these jobs better, online marketing, data science, product management, web development, cloud computing, digital HR, all these different jobs. So there's this 4-week orientation course that's kind of like, it creates a kind of compass for you to understand where do I want to go? And then there's a big training part, and it's mostly a whole year, every day, full day training to really get some knowledge and some skills, and to really do some practical projects. Because even if I say that employers go down and say, please work for me, if you know nothing and if you have no skills, then the cost to get you in is too expensive. Even if you say that you do a free internship, the cost to train you is still too high. So you need to kind of like cross a certain threshold. You have to jump over a certain gap from knowing nothing to knowing something and being valuable. From there, your career can start. And that's always the most tricky part on how to break into this tech ecosystem, is to get that first part of skills and experience. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Stephan. So with your last slide, over 25, that also means the early retired people.
Yeah, of course.
50 plus, etc., etc. So
absolutely. No,
the bankers,
seriously.
because the bankers that are now,
What are you going to do when you're
out.
65? You want to sit at home? You want to be the guy on the golf course? We're all going to work until 75, 80, because we're going to be fit, healthy, our brains will still work. So it's also worth doing a career shift when you're 55, of course. Yeah.
Great. Also in the tech ecosystem. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Stephan Bayer.
Bye-bye.